we're back.
Welcome back to the Official Whistle Podcast.
The Official Whistle Podcast.
Football is back.
Is back.
Fully back.
First, I want to apologize for the delay. There's a little delay on our end. That's on us. But we're back. We're back. As you can tell by my voice, I was in the swamp Saturday night.
So was I.
Kind of. Hunter was blacked out by the third quarter.
No, I wasn't. I sobered right up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, maybe not.
Well, maybe not.
I never blacked out though. I can handle my alcohol. I had about a 12-pack to myself.
God damn.
With a few shots and
Good time though.
great time.
Dude, the swamp was rolling.
Wasn't planning on going into the game, and then about halfway into tailgate, around like 12, 1. Cody was like, "You want to go to the game?" I was like, "I mean, yeah," but he's like, "All right," and he just buys tickets. I'm like, "Oh,
Okay.
all right."
Whatever. I remember you telling me, I was like, oh, like you go to the game, and you're like, nah, like I'm just gonna be drinking. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine, man. I was like, enjoy it. And then you sent me a Snapchat, and I was like,
Yeah.
Hunter's like right over there.
Yeah, I was either going to stay at the tailgate or go to Midtown. And then Cody asked our friend Garrett, who we went up with, if he wanted to go, and he said no. So then me and Cody went.
Good for
and
you,
he
man.
went and watched that Salty Dog. He said it was all right, but I might go up there for the USF game.
Okay.
I might call out.
Is it worth a call out though for the USF game?
It's better than work.
That it is, Hunter.
Yeah, no, I probably won't do that. But
Yeah, no, it's fine. So first let's do the recap of last week.
Right.
We got a ton of stuff we want to cover. I think we're going to go recap college football week 1, maybe dive into NFL. There was a game last night. Josh Allen looked ungodly. And then dive into predictions for this week.
Ungodly or godly?
Godly. My bad.
It's okay.
Couple ungodly moments, though.
Yeah. 2 picks.
One wasn't really his fault.
Yeah.
So, and I got him on fantasy. I think I had 3 players on there.
This guy in our league, Joe, he had Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and the Bills defense. 82 points.
So I didn't have Stephon Diggs, but I had Josh Allen, Gabe Davis,
still good game.
who also had a great game,
like 16 game points.
and the Bills defense. And I think I was rocking like 65, 66 points, and I was like, three players, and that's what you get.
Hell yeah!
Like hell yeah! Like great week in fantasy. But all right, Hunter, let's dive into it, man. So let's start off with the biggest game. I think the biggest game by far is the Georgia-Oregon game.
The biggest, yeah.
Well, like
I agree.
Scenery.
It was
like,
yeah, right. Yeah, right.
like,
It was a
time.
3 versus 11. So yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah. And the hype around the game has been there. Everyone's like, oh, new coach at Oregon.
The coach and quarterback at Oregon. Georgia
lost a ton of players. It's not just a new quarterback. It's Bo Nix. It's Bo Nix, guys. So everyone knows about Bo Nix in the SEC. He flops a lot, but he has some moments. So he could go either way.
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett looked, according to Dan Mullen, like a Heisman candidate out there. We can dive into that later, though.
He looked good. You can't deny that. He did look really good. I was actually very
Oregon's defense
surprised.
also looked like shit.
Yeah. And it's like the fact, like they have 5 stars out there too.
Yeah.
But they just, and their defensive, or their head coach was a former DC at Georgia, so you would think they'd show something, but no, they just absolutely embarrassed them.
Yeah, they embarrassed. Final score is 49-3.
I think this game was like, I think Georgia. So like, there's like an echelon of college football, and it's like Alabama, Clemson,
yep,
and then like Ohio State, kind of
maybe
like they are, but they don't have the results. They have
Correct.
one natty out of it, but and then it's like Georgia, Oklahoma. I think Georgia winning the natty stepped up to Bama, Ohio State, Clemson, and this game kind of solidified it. Unfortunately,
well,
I have to say as a Florida fan.
The Pac-12 had a rough weekend, week 1.
Yeah, USC looked terrible,
dude. versus Rice, bro. I'm telling. If I hear Colin Cowherd come out one more time and say USC is a top 4 team, I'm gonna laugh.
They had 3 pick sixes.
Did they really? Yeah. I didn't see it.
That's nuts. I didn't watch it either, but I checked the box score.
Recap. Okay.
Yeah.
I was because the game I was watching at the bar was that Eastern Carolina NC State game.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I saw that. I was watching. That's why I was also watching that at the bar.
That game, man. Let me tell you, Eastern Carolina should have walked away with a dub.
Yeah,
no problem. Like they should have walked away, but whatever. Their kicker lost his girlfriend, I think, at the end of the game. Did you see that meme at all?
What do you mean?
The kicker who missed like the kick or whatever for Eastern Carolina.
Oh.
He missed like 3 or 4 kicks. It was really bad.
It was horrible.
It was really bad.
I thought it was a joke. I was like, come on.
God damn it. Dude, after I think, bro, I would have been like, give me another kicker. Who else here on this team can kick a
You got to pull a Florida 2014, 15 and have a tryout.
You got to, no. What you got to do is pull the Michael McNeely a little over the, gets him every time. I'm telling you, it gets him every time. But Eastern Carolina should have won that game. NC State looked horrible as well.
Yeah.
The next game.
And they were really hyped in the preseason.
Oh, super hype. I lost my box score on the next game. He's a famous coach named Mac Brown, who might be fired.
His quarterback did look very good, though. Like, he looked better than Sam Howell.
He looked better than Sam Howell?
Mm-hmm.
He can throw it. I'll give him credit. He can definitely throw it.
But UNC's not as good as like that. They were hyped up to be not like top of the ACC. Well, I guess top of the ACC, but not like I don't know. UNC and NC State actually, the whole state of North Carolina, they were all hyped up.
Dude, Appalachian State though should have won that game too.
Yeah, they
should have won that game.
That's a tough way to lose that game too.
So bad. I was crying. Did you see that the punt block or not the punt block, the onside kick they did? And UNC's players like leveled like 4 of Appalachian State players.
And they returned it, right?
Yes, they returned it. And then Appalachian State went down the field and scored again.
Yeah.
Like absolutely hilarious. But there was also a coaching moment there that I think should have been taught.
Right.
I don't remember how much time was on the clock, but I think it was probably about a minute 30. If you're UNC, you don't run that kickback to score points. No,
and like I get it from the player's perspective.
I do understand the player's perspective. I get that.
But that's a learning opportunity to be like, all right, look, they did this for a reason. You just kind of
settle down a little bit.
Yeah,
like because if you're UNC, your defense wasn't stopping shit. Gene Chizik came out of retirement. Looked horrible. He should be fired game 1. Like, god damn, dude, that defense looked like trash. So Appalachian State did an onside kick. UNC ran it back, but Appalachian State could score in like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
They scored. How many points they put up in the fourth? 40 points, fourth quarter. 40 points.
I couldn't believe that. I stopped watching that game. In like the third quarter, I think, early third quarter, and then I checked the box score. I'm like, oh, that's a close game, and I saw how it ended. So I was just looking at the box score and I'm like, and I did the math, like 40 points in the fourth quarter.
40 points
that blew me away. That's nuts.
So we were in the bar, and I think this was before 3:30 games, or like I think 3:30 games just came on, like Georgia, Oregon, and they were finishing up, and we were sitting here cheering on Appalachian State.
Yeah,
I don't know why. But we were just like,
App State's just one of those teams, kind of similar to Northwestern.
Yeah.
But App State is a little bit different because they have the Michigan win from like however long ago that was. But they're always one of those teams that you don't count them out. They're never in like the conversation of like a top 15 because they'll creep in there every once in a while. They're never in the conversation for like a top 20, top 15 team. But like if a good team goes to play them, that's a trap game.
Yep.
You always got to look out for.
There could always be an upset
for App State. Yeah.
Always, and they always play like a good Power 5 team every year.
Yeah.
And you never know.
They give them business.
Could sneak up on them. But I want to take a second to talk about USC.
Let me pull up the rankings.
Okay. Which week 1 rankings or now?
The new ones.
New rankings. Okay. Florida's overranked. We can talk about that later. 12.
I agree, but I see the justification.
There is some justification. There's an argument for it, but when I saw we jumped in small, I laughed. As a Florida fan,
well, just because we'll
but
get
if you
into
look
it in a
who
second.
are around,
Right.
It's different.
I think those teams we could be because Utah is still a very good team.
They are,
and they don't want to drop them too far. I
Correct.
think that was
they had to jump Florida up super high
right.
in order to keep Utah in the hunt.
Yeah,
because that's the only chance the Pac-12 has. I don't think USC is going to make it.
Yeah, let's see USC 10. They jumped up 4 spots.
They went up 4 spots for beating Rice.
Now, I'll give them they did put up 66 points. So you got to give them that.
It's Rice, bro.
But it's Rice.
It's Rice. Come on. Come on, bro. It's Rice. Like, let's relax. They go this weekend and they play Stanford. I don't think Stanford's going to give them much of a game, but we'll see. The thing that I hate about USC, they play 2 ranked teams all year.
I was literally just about to say that.
They play 2 ranked teams. That's it.
And not till halfway through October.
Yeah. So Utah might not even be ranked at that time. And Notre Dame's always overhyped. Sort of. We can dive into Notre Dame later. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But, dude, I just honestly think they're really overhyped.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they keep it up and they win games by average, 3-4 touchdowns, then you kind of got to give it to them. But then I want to see them play a real team before.
I mean, so I'll be honest. If I count this schedule, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10.
Honestly, like one loss puts
them out.
Yeah.
But you know what I say to this? If you took a Florida, a Tennessee, or Kentucky, they'd probably go 10-1 with the schedule.
Well, I mean, they've already beat Utah.
Florida already beat Utah.
Florida already beat Notre Dame.
Like, if you really think about it,
yeah,
this is almost an undefeated season for mid-tier SEC teams.
Yeah.
So why are we sitting here talking and, like, perpetuating this lie about USC that they're all that when it's like, bro, they're playing Fresno State, Oregon State, Arizona State, Washington State, which is kind of a sleeper. Washington, never know. But, like, come on.
Arizona State? Herm Edwards? Emory Jones?
Emory Jones has apparently had himself a game. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, this comes back to this is why they're leaving the Pac-12 to go to the Big Ten.
Correct.
Because I don't know what's happened in the last few years, and it's probably because Alabama, Ohio State, and Clemson are the dominant powers.
Mm-hmm.
And because USC was so bad for so long, and like the power that Oregon had for like 5 years is gone, that like all the power from the West is just completely left.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
And getting it back is going to be
Even
interesting.
The Midwest, it's like leaving. It's all on the east side.
I did hear an interesting take on a 12-team playoff. On since they're doing 12 teams, it's going to kind of like reshape college football a little bit.
Is it Joe? Are you talking about Joe Klatt? He had an interesting take on it too.
It could have been Joel. I listened to a couple minutes of his pod. I don't think it was Joel.
I liked his take on it.
Okay.
Well, it was either Joel Klatt or what's his
name? That sounds about right. Well, this take was like
Tom Fernelli.
I don't know.
But go ahead with your take.
Not my take, someone else's take. But they were talking about how it's going to allow other teams the opportunity to get in and play for those games.
Right.
So, like, your 5-star recruits and stuff aren't going to feel that they need to go to Alabama, to a Clemson, to an Ohio State
to get to the playoff.
Opportunity to play there, yeah. When it could go to, a mid-tier school and still have the opportunity to play for a national championship. And I was like, that's an interesting take right there. Because it kind of balances out that recruiting a little bit. Not a whole lot.
Right. It does. And it brings back balance to because like when the BCS was around, There's only 2 teams that were making the Natty, obviously, but then there's other teams that were going to make the New Year's Six bowls.
Mm-hmm. And bowls weighed a lot back then, though.
They did.
They meant a lot.
Huge.
Yeah.
The Rose Bowl meant a lot.
The Rose Bowl doesn't exist anymore, but
yeah, no. When you have like Georgia and Clemson playing in the Rose Bowl, it's like, what is this crap? I need like Oregon, Wisconsin, USC.
Yeah, it's
Ohio State.
It's not an SEC like. It's really not.
It's Pac-12, Big Ten.
Yeah,
that's what it's supposed to be.
Yep. That's what it is.
But yeah, that's a good point because now it brings more
balance
to the other teams because now it's more possible for like a Baylor to make it, Oklahoma State to make it, Florida,
Michigan
State.
There's
all these other teams.
So we'll see. Well, Utah. Well, speaking of Utah, let's have a Utah-Florida game.
What a fucking game, bro! Oh my god, the whole time, literally game. From start to finish, good fucking game.
Florida had a great early drive, and then was it Naquan who fumbled or Johnson?
It was Johnson.
Johnson fumbled, and I was like, "Son of a bitch!"
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, "Great, this kid transfers here and fucks us up."
Yep, like on the first drive, and they were hot. But nonetheless, Florida.
Yeah, because we were up 7-0.
Yep, we were up. Get used to the name, Trevor Etienne.
Dude, yes.
Guy, we know why Lorenzo Lingard's not playing.
He's back on the depth chart, by the way.
I saw that. Interesting.
Yeah. I'm curious to know what.
Maybe get him some reps this week. Maybe. Etienne just looked.
He looked very similar to his brother.
Yeah, looked like a stud out there. And his brother's in Jacksonville, and he's tweeting about the Gators now all the time for his little brother. And then he fumbled towards the end.
Yeah,
and
I forgot. Yeah.
Travis Etienne, he tweeted like, "Boy almost gave me a heart attack" or something. And I was like, "Me too, bud. Yeah. Me too." I was dying up there.
But no, Pearsall looked really good all game too. I know he was questionable a couple weeks ago with the foot injury, but he
definitely wide receiver 1.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he is. Yep.
But dude, our run game is sick. Anthony Richardson,
beast.
Obviously, everyone's talking about him being just a beast and off the wall good. And I agree, but I think what's crazy about him is like obviously the run potential. And he had that 155-yard run, and that's why he had over 100.
Did you see that safety go to try to tackle him?
Yeah.
Guy was not even like
that was a business decision.
He wasn't even attempting to make a tackle.
Yeah. He's like, I gotta make some type of effort, but I'm not actually.
I'm not about to get ran over by this 6'4" guy.
But as I was watching Richardson, obviously he's got the run threat, but and I've been watching more.
Lasers.
He throws darts,
bro.
They're right there through the window, and he makes his reads. And he knows how to read the defense because I was watching videos and replays of him from over the top, from the defensive side, how he read the defense, told the line what's going on, and then called the play and literally looked over here. Dart.
Yep.
Like,
dude, AR was like throwing it really good. I was worried in the beginning because he was doing that sidearm shit, and I was like,
yeah. Like Lamar Jackson type shit.
Kind of. And I'm not opposed to it. Don't get me wrong. There's a time and place for it. There really is, depending on the play, circumstance, or whatever you're doing.
As long as it's not your main throwing form.
Correct. He did it like 3 or 4 times in a row at the beginning of the game. And I was like, thinking to myself, I'm like, is this motherfucker
going to try and sidearm his way through the season?
Sidearming the whole time? And I was like, this is not going to work. Like, it's not going to happen. And he finally, started throwing lasers and hit Pearsall across the middle like 3 or 4 times. Like,
yeah, that's the thing I was gonna like. Our offense, it's not the most like. Well, no, it is though, because there's like I feel like almost every play was a first down. Like when we got a 3rd down, I'm like, I'm not even worried. I'm literally not even worried because it would be like a perfect play call where there'd be a perfect 10-yard slant with Pearsall, or it'd be a perfect little screen to Trevor Etienne, or something. It'd be perfect. I
don't know if you saw. I think we did like 3 wide receiver screens.
We did, yeah.
And there might have been a run in the middle of it, but I remember watching that. My brother texted me. He goes, "It looks like we're watching Will fucking Muschamp's offense right now." I was like, "God damn it! Like, please, dear God, no." And then they finally adjusted. I think a popular play, kind of that lower level of football. I mean, I don't say lower level meaning like to be mean, but like you can run wide receiver screens, put guys in space 1-on-1, and they're gonna make a play. I think in the SEC, in playing that like big boy ball, safeties and corners aren't really. They're not going to whiff on wide receiver screens. They do every now and then.
Yeah, because if you notice, if you flip it around, Utah tried a bunch of screens, and Florida shut it down literally every single play. There might have been like one or two that I can't think of right now that maybe got 5 or 6, maybe 10 yards, but almost every time Jason Marshall or Rashad Torrance just swim move tackle.
Like the DBs are taught, either you block that receiver into the other guy, swim move them, push them out of the way, get around them, and they know how to do it. Whereas I think like when Billy's at Louisiana, they're not the athletes you can say aren't as well coached or as talented to do some of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was a little worried about them running that, but other than that, dude, AR took over.
They didn't stick to it though.
After that drive, they didn't really.
Yeah, they didn't stick to it too much though, and that. Yeah, they also didn't do a lot of deep balls and stuff.
No,
I noticed, and I don't know if that might have been on purpose because the short game was working and it was running clock out, and might have been the good thing to do. But I'd be curious to see.
I was more wondering what the hell Utah was doing. I never saw a spy on Anthony Richardson, like a true linebacker type spy.
That's what Kentucky's going to try and do this week.
Of course, I would too. But Anthony Richardson's like, what, 6'5"? Fucking 240?
Runs like a 4.4, 4.3.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I do love having a quarterback that, even when Kyle Trask was there, it wasn't as Kyle Trask wasn't as talked about as Anthony Richardson is right now, or in the national.
Kyle wasn't a 5-star coming out of high school.
Right, but he was still lighting it up.
He was lighting it up.
So it's cool having a quarterback that I don't know, the national media is.
They eat up.
Holy shit.
Unfortunately, he's projected to go top 5 next year now, which is really bad for Florida because Florida is going to be in a tough spot.
Yeah.
They'll have started freshman quarterback, which is going to be really bad. But you never know. If you look at Clemson's freshman quarterback, he looks to be really good and should have the starting job this week.
Yeah, no, I agree. That'd be tough. Because Anthony Richardson, if he has a hell of a year, wins the Heisman, is even a Heisman finalist, he's going to vault himself into that top 3 quarterback discussion with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. And I don't blame him for being well, this was great, Billy, but I'm a dip.
Yeah. All right. So that was about 15 minutes. We went a little over. Yeah, we're trying to keep our segments a little shorter so we can cover everything.
We got a lot to talk about. We intended on doing, it wasn't a set plan, but because we had so much to talk about because of college football and because college football is such a crazy weekend, we're hoping to maybe be able to do 2 shows. But life happens.
Life does happen.
Anyways.
Like I said, my voice gone this past week from being really good.
Yeah, Sunday morning I slept in and I was dog sitting for a lady and I went and I let her dog out and I went to McDonald's to just grab, it was lunch by that time, just to grab some food. And I hadn't really spoken yet. Yeah. Not on purpose, just I just went, I might have said something to the dog, just a greeting or whatever, but I haven't talked to anybody. So I had no reason to speak. So I got to the McDonald's drive through and they're like, hi, what can I give you? I'm just like, yeah. And then I was I just had a cough. And I'm like, oh, shit.
That was great.
How am I going to order right now? They can't even hear me.
That's absolutely great.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into the NFL.
Right.
NFL started this past week. We'll go recap game this week. We're going to go into Sunday's games, picks, and we're going to go to our college picks this week.
Okay.
Got it?
Right.
All right. Bills Bills at Rams.
I think the Rams win this game.
Oh, you think so? The Rams are going to win it. What's your score prediction on that one, Hunter?
I think the Rams blow them out, 31-10.
31-10.
Yeah, I think they have a few turnovers because the Bills defense is
they got KR
somewhat okay.
They got KR Elam.
Yeah, they do.
Who was actually he played fairly well last night.
I'm just kidding, obviously.
So let's be honest here. The Bills destroyed the Rams.
And let me say this. Jalen Ramsey, if you're out there, that's just 3 games in a row now. You've been toasted. Absolutely toasted.
Yep.
3 games in a row. Wait.
Stephon Diggs.
Maybe not 3. Who'd the Rams play in the NFC Championship?
It's funny because I know that. Was it the Niners?
The Niners.
Yeah. Because the Niners beat. I wanted to say Packers, but I was like, no.
Packers lost to the Niners.
The Packers lost.
It was the Niners. God, anyways, I forgot about that game. Good thing I did. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say 3 because when the Bucs played the Rams, when the Rams played the Bucs, Mike Evans toasted Jalen Ramsey all game.
Yep. All game.
And then in the Super Bowl, Jamar Chase toasted Ramsey all game. He was wide open on that last play, but Joe Burrow's outline got him, sacked.
Of course.
Anyways, and then Stephon Diggs went off on Ramsey tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You think Josh Allen still got that? So when Josh Allen was drafted, Jalen Ramsey is still a Jag.
Yep.
And he said Josh Allen was a bad draft pick. That's a dumb draft pick. Think Josh Allen thinks of that?
Every time.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does. I would too. Like,
shit on.
If you think about it, like, technically, you're like, okay, best corner in the league. Supposedly, best corner in the league. Let's shit on him. We have one of the best receivers in the league, Stephon Diggs.
That's the thing that kind of sucks about being a top corner in the league is like to be a corner, because they say it a lot in corner. I kind of agree. Corner is the hardest position in the league to play.
It's one of them.
If it's not it's a top 3 time with like quarterback and left tackle.
Yep. Short memory.
Yeah.
Got a short memory.
But you kind of got to stand up for yourself because these receivers are all like badass. So you kind of got to talk a little shit just to give yourself like a little bit of a rep.
And they have the rule leverage. I'll be honest. Right. Receivers do get the benefit of the doubt.
Right. In today's game, that's very offensive friendly. Yeah. So as a defense, as a DB, you kind of got to talk your shit. So it gets to the point where if the receiver's a little bit better than you, they're going to target you. And if you get beat so often, you kind of got to lose your title, really.
Yeah, you do. Like you do.
Corner. Which I still think he is.
He's definitely top.
It does take 3 games just to.
He's definitely top.
It's just awesome. But as a Florida fan, and he's a former Seminole, I just love to see it.
You definitely love to see it. But watching that game, number one, the Rams couldn't set a run game.
Their O-line was trash.
O-line's horrible. They're trash.
Now the Bills' D-line is good because Ed Oliver and Von Miller had a hell of a game. Von Miller looked fucking good, bro.
But Von Miller looks 5 years younger, bro.
Look, the 6-year deal is looking hot right now.
Yeah, speaking of deals, Lamar hasn't gotten a deal. We'll dive into that later.
We'll dive into that because I want to get into that.
All right.
All right. I can't wait to get to that. All right. Their O-line looked like dog shit.
Yeah, they looked horrible.
I had the Bills defense in one of my leagues, and they got 19 points. What, they have 7 sacks?
I don't know how many sacks they had, but I know they had 2 interceptions.
They did.
3 interceptions? 2 or 3?
I'm looking up right now.
It's one. Yeah, I was like, it's 2 or 3 interceptions.
7 sacks, 3 interceptions.
7 sacks.
10 points allowed. The Bills had literally, like, probably almost, well, defensively, I guess, because they scored twice, so you can't say perfect on defense, but about as close to perfect you can get on defense and on offense. Even though they had 4 turnovers on offense,
they did, which
they didn't punt.
Did they not all game?
Didn't punt.
Damn.
2 of the Bills' last 3 games, they have not punted. Because the last game they played was against the Chiefs, and they punted once or twice then. But the game before that was against the Patriots, and that was the perfect offensive game.
Patriots don't want that smoke. Pats fans.
Also, Jalen Ramsey, real quick. He allowed a perfect passer rating.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. Again, yeah, it was magical. Did you see that 4th and 1 call?
Mm-mm.
Bro, 4th and 1. Okay, everyone, Singletary, Josh Allen's gonna run the ball. Everyone knows. What do? Roll Josh to the right, fake the run. Gabe Davis slips out behind both by the safety and corner.
Of course.
Flick of the wrist, touchdown.
Hmm.
Beautiful.
That's just such beautiful to watch.
I was losing it.
My only concern with the Bills.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the play calling or it's Josh
Running him too much?
Yeah.
Yep.
It hasn't been a problem yet. And he's young enough, and he's just like a physical freak. So I don't know if you have to worry about it yet. But I just worry about longevity.
You always worry about longevity. He is a big guy though, so that does help a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas like a Lamar,
mm-hmm.
You do have to worry about injuries a little bit more because he is.
I think that's part of the reason he didn't get extended.
So the knock on Lamar that we've all heard about is receivers don't want to play with him.
Right. We've been saying this for a while.
Yeah. Receivers don't want to play with him.
Hmm.
And it's not that Lamar's a bad athlete. That's not what it is. It's when you think about it, the offense around him as a receiver, you're blocking a hell of a lot more.
The offense is built for Lamar.
Yeah.
Which that's a good coaching because you
build around your best player.
Build around your best player. He's your best player.
Yeah, by far.
But
the biggest knock on Lamar has always been his throwing abilities. Now, the guy's got an arm.
He's got a cannon. He can sling it.
But he doesn't have a Josh Allen cannon or a Mahomes cannon. I don't think he's as accurate.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
because I think he can sling it just about as far. Correct, but I don't know if it's as accurate.
I'm thinking like tight spaces, like
right.
I think it's the best quarterbacks are generally the best throwers between that like 8 to like 15 yards.
I was just thinking,
yeah,
because he's got those bombs because that's all like he really because I had Hollywood Brown on fantasy last year and all he would score on was like 40 to 60 yard bombs.
Yep,
and it's like so.
You don't win a Super Bowl.
You can only throw the 46-yard bomb or like a little slant.
Yep.
But like the little in-betweens.
Yep. Which matter a lot more.
Yeah.
They matter
a lot. 5 to 20, the 8 to 20-yard pass. Yep.
Because that keeps the chains moving. That's how you win Super Bowls.
That's how Tom Brady wins.
Yes. Plus a run game. Generally, you got which they have J.K. Dobbins, who I think is going to be phenomenal.
I hope so because I drafted him, but he's been limping and I don't know. Drafted him in a few leagues.
Injury prone.
Right.
I don't know at the moment. We'll see. But yes, the Bills ultimately won. It was a great game. Matt Stafford didn't play the best. Cooper Kupp carried him. Cooper Kupp
and
freaking amazing.
Stafford, they kind of picked up that little toe tap. That was pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought Cooper Kupp wasn't going to be. It's only one game, so you can't really. Well, he did awesome. So I was gonna say he wasn't gonna be as like prominent in offense because they have Allen Robinson now. Not that Cooper Kupp isn't gonna be performing. It's just they've got another receiver there to split with. But Allen Robinson only had 22 yards.
It's weird.
Cam Akers, their running back,
was he there?
He only he didn't get any.
Was
yards.
He in the stadium?
Apparently,
I never saw him.
Could have fooled me.
I'm telling you, bro.
It's funny because this guy in one of my fantasy leagues, DJ, he drafted Cam Akers, and I specifically remembered on draft night we were sitting next to each other, and I didn't know what was going on. He was like, "Has to be in between Cam Akers and Aaron Jones," and I was like, "Aaron Jones is a way better pick."
Aaron Jones.
And he's like, "I just picked Cam Akers," and I was like, "Oh." And then Cam Akers last night, and we were all roasting him in the chat for taking Cam Akers and starting him. We're like, DJ
Aaron Jones. Let me tell you, guy. Yeah. Aaron Jones literally won me my fantasy league one year. Like, carried me last year in fantasy.
Dude, and I have Derrick Henry and Aaron Jones.
That's gnarly. That's gnarly. I have Kamara and Swift in my main league.
Solid. Swift is going to be awesome.
Dude, this guy's been, like, pestering me by getting Swift. And he has Justin Jefferson. And I was like, oh. But my receivers are also stacked. So I was like,
I got Justin Jefferson in our league.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think I had like the 7th pick and he fell, and I'm like, that's crazy that he fell that far.
Solid pick. But all right, let's dive into this week's games. We're going to cover 3 NFL games. First one, 1:00. Ready?
We're gonna preview every single game.
Not every single game. Just
okay,
main
just
game.
like best game.
Yeah,
because I don't want to talk about like Falcons, Jets,
Browns at Panthers.
Panthers. I think the Panthers. Yeah,
okay.
They're like gonna beat the shit out of the
Browns. They're
Browns.
gonna kill the Browns.
Yeah,
they're gonna kill them
because I think Baker is like rallying them around.
Yep. And McCaffrey, I think, is gonna have a good game.
He was on, which he's back. He's fine now. He was on the injury report the other day for his shin.
Of course he was.
Yeah.
Don't expect anything less.
Yeah.
Got a little bruise. Damn it. Downside to drafting McCaffrey in fantasy, is he going to show up?
What was it? Someone on TikTok was like, when they questioned me why I drafted Saquon and Christian McCaffrey, it was like, because I'm not a pussy. It's like, well,
that's two bad bets. I'll be honest. Risky. That's a bad bet. I love it. All right. We have the Packers at Vikings.
I think the Vikings win. I think I've been saying this for a while, and I don't know if I said it randomly or I said it first, but a lot of people are picking up on the Vikings this year because there's like really three teams that everyone's kind of like.
Vikings are gonna be good.
Yeah, there's the three teams that everyone's kind of like. These three teams are gonna be enter the conversation of like up the top of the league.
Yeah,
and that's the Vikings, the Eagles, and the Chargers.
The Vikings are going to be really good.
And I think the Vikings, because you got that Kevin O'Connell offense now, which is what the Rams are running. And Justin Jefferson himself is like, I see why Cooper Kupp was open so often last year. So I think Justin Jefferson. Now, the only problem, though, with the Vikings is Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Kirk fucking Cousins.
Yeah.
He'll get you to the playoffs. He's not going to do anything stellar to win you the playoffs.
He's like that perfect gray area quarterback where it's like he's good enough to where you're like, no way we can get rid of this guy.
Yep.
But he's not good enough to where you're like,
we're gonna win a Super Bowl with this guy. Yeah.
Like we're gonna make the playoffs every year. This guy.
It's a tough spot to be in.
He's like the Mark Richt of quarterbacks.
The Mark Richt of quarterbacks. I love that comp. Love that comp. So we talked about the Vikings. I'm going to go Packers here. They're not going to win, but Aaron Rodgers has struggled with rookie receivers.
Yeah, he said so already.
Yep.
Or he's frustrated with them.
He's always struggled with them. I think they have Lazard returning, Aaron Jones, of course.
They have Sammy Watkins.
Which
is not like a lot, but
not as big as he. They
should sign Odell.
Odell wants money. And let me tell you, Odell, if you're out there, if you ever listen to this, you are not worth guaranteed money. Not to any team. Okay? Not to any. The Jags, I don't think would use him. Maybe the Jags. But they wouldn't pay him.
Well, I think almost every team could use him, but his problem is like you said, he wants a guaranteed contract, but his contract should be more incentive based.
Yes, he's not Tyreek Hill.
Right. Because when he's in perfect health, like he's a top 10 receiver in the league.
Yep.
Not gonna say 5 because there's no top 10 receiver in the league though. But
the Baker situation didn't work out. I think
that's weird because like OBJ and Baker, I think they get along because like.
I think they do.
They'll comment on each other's like Instagram posts, like cheering for each other. So but
on the football field, they didn't.
Yeah,
they didn't connect. Baker played worse when Odell was on the field.
Yeah,
and the psychology behind that is, did he feel forced to try and feed Odell the ball when he might not have been open? There was a lot of theories about that, and I think that's real. Like Odell wants that; he wants the ball.
Yeah,
but he's not worth a massive contract.
Not anymore. Definitely not.
So we're going to week one. He's not on a roster.
No. And it sucks, too, because like when Odell was in his prime, he was one of my favorite receivers to watch.
He was a really good receiver.
But it's unfortunate he's
definitely not.
That. He should go to the there's rumor that he'd go to the Bills, but the Bills I don't think need a receiver right now. But the Packers could use the receiver. So could the Ravens.
Bills definitely don't need a receiver.
But the Packers make sense because the Packers
Packers are
everything about the Packers is like perfect except for their receiving core,
which Aaron Rodgers needs.
Right.
In order to win games.
You got a top 3 quarterback in the league. You got you got the reigning MVP. You shouldn't want it.
Shouldn't have won it. We get that later.
You got the reigning MVP. You got Aaron Jones
RB1.
and AJ Dillon.
I like RB1 times 1,000.
Yeah. Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon. Your defense could potentially be one of the best secondaries in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Just all around. Your defense is a top 3 defense in the league now.
Yep, it's up there.
And then you brought in your problem last year was your special teams, and then you brought in a new special teams coordinator. So they'll change things up. Rich Bisaccia, shout out.
Shout out.
But they don't have receivers. They have Alan Lazard and Sammy Watkins. That's terrible.
Which Lazard's a solid wide receiver too.
I don't even know if Tom 3.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Tom Brady could win with that. Because like the worst Brady ever had it, like he had Edelman though.
Edelman he did, and Gronk. He always had Gronk.
Right.
He had Gronk to rely on.
So I feel bad for Aaron.
Yeah. No. I feel bad for Aaron too. So they're going to be interesting. All right. So do you want to go Chiefs Cardinals or Bucks Cowboys, or Raiders Chargers? 3 really good games.
Let's just quickly glance over. I'll just do it, and Raiders Chargers is going to be points.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Chargers are going to win. Justin Herbert's going to have a great game.
Yeah. Chargers and Raiders, it's going to be a very
competitive.
Yeah.
Very competitive. All right, Chiefs Cardinals, go. Patty Mahomes, Kyler Murray at Cardinals.
Yeah, and Chiefs are going to win this game.
Chiefs are going to win it? Yeah. Even without downfield threat?
Well, so everything they kind of did. The thing that everyone's knocking the Chiefs, and I kind of knock them too, they lost Tyreek Hill, which is a big deal because he's all around. He's a top 5 receiver in the league. So,
yeah. I can get with that.
He's probably at 5, but
at minimum 8 to 5, like right there. He's right there.
Yeah,
he's in there because you think Stephon Diggs, like Mike Evans, Justin Jefferson,
Chase, Justin Jefferson.
There's some guys
5 to 8 range.
5 to 8 range is pretty.
He's not
solid.
a top 3, but he's above just a top 10.
5 will give you a top 3 performance every other week potentially.
Right. But my thing is they brought in 2 guys to replace 1.
Yeah.
Because they brought in Marcos Valdes-Scantling for the deep threat, and they brought in Juju just for everything else. Now I think Juju's going to have a really good year because they lost Tyreek Hill doesn't mean Patrick Mahomes got any worse.
I'm worried about Juju, but
why?
We'll see.
I
think production will be there.
Well, here's my thing with Juju, also with Chase Claypool, and like Deontay Johnson. Yep. Their production declined the last 2 years.
Okay.
Who else severely declined over the last 2 years? Ben Roethlisberger.
Big Ben.
Exactly. He couldn't throw the ball further than 15 yards.
Yep.
Of course, their production slowed down.
Especially downfield.
Right, exactly. I don't think the majority of their problems had to do with them. Mm-hmm. So I think Juju in the Chiefs offense now is going to like reignite his career. Shoot him back into like a top 20 conversation.
Yeah. You can put it Conversation.
Nothing, potentially. Not right now, he's not. But if he has a year like I think he could.
Yeah.
Then.
All right, Bucks Cowboys.
I think the Bucks won this one. The Cowboys just like I don't know what they're doing.
What have the Cowboys been doing this past year?
Nothing. Also,
nothing.
Am I missing something? Is it Micah Parsons? Like I think he's very good.
He's good.
Everyone's giving him like he's the best player in the NFL, best defensive player in the NFL, not named Aaron Donald.
No.
Well, no, he's not.
No.
Just because he ran like a 4.3.
No. Colin made the argument Myles Garrett's going to be the best player in the NFL this year.
Yeah, he could.
Potentially.
I think Myles Garrett is, yeah.
And, I mean, my man Devin White. Sleeper.
Listen, if Devin White ever figures out how to cover a tight end, NFL is fucked.
Watch out. Watch out. Like, damn. Devin White's really good, man.
And he's fast.
He's very fast.
That was a 4.4. That was a linebacker.
He's actually smaller than I thought.
Yeah.
When I saw him in person, I was like...
He's like my height.
I was like, wow. but he's a really good linebacker because I think he kind of stays hidden.
Yeah.
You don't know he's there until he knocks shit at you.
Yeah. I was listening to that. So, because the NFL did the NFL Top 100.
Yeah.
And when they ranked Devin White, he's in Top 100, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the thing with him is he's so fast, you don't notice where he's at until he's just there because he's so quick. He can cross the field, go from the middle to the sideline faster than anybody.
I like that. That's a good one. All right, let's dive into college games this week. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Pull on the score here. UCF's playing right now, by the way. If you didn't know, they're beating Louisville.
That's who it was. I knew there was a game on tonight.
Yeah.
Louisville looked like shit.
It's not a game. It's like a practice.
Right.
It's
Louisville looked like shit. Last week.
The fact that UCF has national champions on their box.
That's ridiculous.
Laughable.
That's ridiculous.
Is laughable.
It drives me nuts.
The delusion over here. The delusion. Like, come on, man. All right. This one we don't really have to touch on too much. Alabama, Texas.
Interesting statistic.
Okay. Statistics.
In the time that Queen Elizabeth was queen.
R.I.P.
Rip Bozo. In the time that Queen Elizabeth was queen, Texas never beat Alabama. In like 19 in the 10s and in the 20s, Texas beat Bama. Now they only played once in that time, but Bama beat them. But now Queen Elizabeth has finally died. Does that mean Alabama has? No, they haven't. But it's just an interesting little.
We live in reality.
Yeah, it's just an interesting little.
Alabama's going to keep on rolling.
Yeah.
And they're going to absolutely destroy.
Who Texas play last week?
It was
like a nobody.
UL Monroe. Yeah. They killed him. All right. Arkansas, South Carolina. Arkansas is going to get the win. It'll be a little close at halftime, but Arkansas is going to pull away.
Yeah. I think Arkansas.
Quick take on that one.
Based on what I've seen.
Okay.
Low key.
Okay.
Arkansas is going to finish second in the SEC West.
I have a potential upset alert here.
Oh.
So, and this one, I heard this statistic. We follow statistics here on the show.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Numbers don't lie.
No. So, Alabama is a 20-point favorite against Texas at home. Or on the road. Alabama's on the road.
Right.
They're at Texas's home. Okay. You ready for this one? Texas A&M is a 19-point favorite. Okay. At home against an unranked Appalachian State.
It's App State?
It's App State. Think about this for a second, though. Like, think about this. Like, Texas is slated to lose at home to Alabama.
By 20.
By 20. In App State, they're coming into Kyle Field. But A&M's only predicted to win by 19.
That is an interesting little...
Now, it's not the biggest difference in the world, but I just found that to be interesting. All right. This is quite possibly game of the week. Tennessee at Pitt.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh,
Real battle of mid-tier teams. That's going to be a good-ass game.
It's a good game.
It's going to be a good-ass game. I'm going to have to watch that one.
Yep.
That'll be my 3:30 game I'll watch.
Yep. It's going to be a good one.
What other 3:30 games are on?
App State, A&M, Furman, Clemson, Notre Dame, Marshall at 2:30. And that's about Wisconsin and Washington State. That's it.
I do kind of want to see Texas A&M App State. Damn.
I'll watch that. Yeah. I'll be at the bar probably at that time, hopefully. I'm
hoping I can watch it at work.
You'll be able to.
Yeah. I've got YouTube TV. So.
Okay. All right. And finally, Kentucky at Florida. Kentucky's missing RB1. He's out for this game. Florida's going to win. Convincingly.
Wait, what did you say? Who's out?
They're RB1.
Oh.
He's out. Second week in a row. Florida's going to win convincingly.
I think so too.
Because that running back, I forget his name, but he was like one of the best rushers in the SEC last year. Obviously, since he's not going to be playing, that's really going to hurt their run game. Florida struggles with the run game. I'll be honest. Their front seven, not the strongest. But they're going to stop the run. That was my take on it. Other than that, we got Baylor BYU at a 10-15 slot. That's it.
Yeah, so I think Yeah. I think Florida wins. I commented on somebody's.
Okay.
I think 38-17.
38-17. Wow.
That's my prediction.
That's a good prediction. I like that.
38-17, that's what I'm saying. I think Florida really puts their stamp and be like, we deserve to be ranked 12 and taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And then also just like revenge for last year against Kentucky.
Definitely revenge. I think AR comes out and just does a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Like, he just looks phenomenal and plays almost a perfect game.
Yeah.
I think he does. And I think a ring game's going to kill him.
Yeah, I think also, all right. So okay. So you remember 2 years ago, JJ Weaver, linebacker for Kentucky, said Kyle Pitts has never played against KJ Weaver.
Yeah.
And then
Kyle,
he tore his ACL guarding Kyle Pitts.
Yep.
This same dude said, Anthony Richardson's really good and he likes to run around and stuff, but he's not going to be able to do that against us.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. Let's this podcast. We're in reality here.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's something people forget about. You're sitting in front of me. Anthony Richardson can run right by him.
Yeah.
Not even touched.
He needs to settle now. I don't know where he gets.
Now
he didn't learn his lesson.
I'll tell you something about Florida that I didn't like and I missed. We need to incorporate an RPO heavily, because I didn't see us run it at all against Utah. Maybe we have it. Could be stored in the bag for later for Georgia. But
I feel like it is. I know it was week 1 and we played Utah, but like I think Billy is gonna break in, like slowly get into what we can.
Yeah, because dude, I was like, because our RPOs would be such a fake. Because number one, hand it off. Number two, AR can take off. So it's like it's kind of a dual thing of like linebacker kind of has to account for both.
Yeah,
it's a tough situation.
I said someone was talking about the thing with Anthony Richardson. I think it was Tom Vernelli. So like when it's I don't know what the play is called. When you're running, the quarterback is running with a running back, and you can either keep it or pitch it. Is that
an option?
An option.
Okay.
Usually
that's that's standard option.
A regular standard option.
Okay. I was thinking RPO. But
right.
Okay.
No, I would agree with that.
Okay.
But on a regular run option, usually you kind of key in on the back, but kind of focus on the quarterback a little bit, but you're mostly focused on the back.
Yep.
But Anthony Richardson.
You got to focus on Anthony.
Yeah. Who are you going to focus on? Because Anthony can either take off a run, or he can pitch it off to Montreal, or to Trevor, or to Naquan, or
Lingard. Yeah, if he's on the field.
I haven't seen him yet. So
I haven't seen him. He missed the last game. He's at the frat houses. But yes, I don't see us running an option.
No, I don't either. I'm just saying
love a good option.
That's a good. I do too.
I love it.
I'm saying that's a good. Like that's a tough thing.
If we ran like an old-fashioned triple option shit,
yeah,
I love that. Bread and butter all day. Well, Hunter, I think it's time we wrap it up. Got to be a little quicker. We've been about an hour. This is why we want to do 2 episodes.
Yeah,
because.
Well, we tried to keep it quick because this episode could have been. Well, we didn't talk about Lamar.
We'll get a Lamar after this week.
Okay.
If he plays,
he's gonna play.
He'll play.
Where's he gonna play next year?
Tampa.
He might be.
Never know. All right, guys. We really appreciate it. Check us out here. Our live stream's been kind of off. I think we're gonna go back to that like Tuesday, Wednesday timeline, maybe Thursday.
Yeah,
we got to figure it out because we definitely want to try and fit 2 shows in at least. So check us out. Leave us a 5-star review. Subscribe to YouTube, Twitch. We're on there right now. Anything else?
Go Gators. Go Bucks.
We'll see you guys back here next week on the Official Whistle Podcast.
All right. We'll be back. See ya.